Hello, welcome to CryptPoint Awareness Channel. My name is Syed. Before we talk anything, please look at our standard disclaimer. This is an educational channel. The whole purpose of this channel is to raise awareness. Today I am going to start with a question. If I ask you, what is the color of this mobile phone? Do you see that? It's black. Even if the whole world is going to say that the color of this mobile phone is white or something else, then the whole world is wrong. These things are called facts and reality. So it is a fact that the color of this mobile phone is black. So if you or if the whole world is going to say that this is not black, then you and whole world is wrong. So please have this in your mind when you listen to me today. What are facts and what are realities? I should have made this video few months ago, but something was stopping me. However, today I have decided to make this video because there is an EOS block producer from Sweden called Southwest Eden. They are continuously threatening to another block producer from Sweden called Sweden Cornet. Today I want to talk about this. Now I am personally not part of Sweden Cornet core team, but I know these people. I have been living with some of those people for more than 20 years. There is a lot of propaganda that is going on. There is a lot of misinformation that is going on. So it is my duty to make sure that people are getting the right information, correct information. I need to take you back about 4 months in the past, or 6 months, or maybe 8 months, when there was EOS block producers campaign going on. That time the EOS community together with EOS Go, they published some rules, some regulations, some guidelines that each and every block producer candidate should have followed. Actually, EOS Go, they published all the rules and regulations line by line, step by step, in a detailed way. So it must be easy for the block producer candidates to follow. Now, Sweden Cornet did not even knew that time about those regulations. They were not part of the picture. But the other block producer, Southwest Eden, they were part of the EOS community that time. Probably they were the ones who wrote those guidelines. Later on, when Sweden Cornet, when they entered into the picture, they looked into those guidelines published by EOS Go and EOS community, and they started following those guidelines step by step, line by line, word by word. Sweden Cornet were new. They knew nothing about the EOS community. They did not know about Eric. They did not know about any other block producer candidate. They only knew about EOS Go, and they started following those instructions line by line. One of the very critical instructions from them was that all the block producer candidates, they should announce their candidacy in Steemit. They should also announce their block producer ID in Steemit, because the whole idea was that since Steemit is a blockchain based, everything that you are going to publish in Steemit, that is going to be recorded for forever. So Sweden Cornet, they looked into those regulations, into those guidelines, and they first tried to find an available block producer ID, and they found that no one has requested EOS Sweden. So they found that this identity, EOS Sweden, is available. It was free. No one else had claimed by that time. So according to the EOS Go instructions, they applied an account name in Steemit with the identity EOS Sweden. They announced their candidacy, in Steemit and also in EOS Go with the block producer ID as EOS Sweden. Remember, by that time, no one else, not even Eric or not even any other entity, no one else, they have demanded that name. Sweden Cornet was the first one to demand this name. Later on, since their candidacy statement went into public, the whole world knew about it, so do Eric and their team. So when they heard that there is another team in Sweden and they want to become a block producer candidate, one person from Eric's team, they contacted Sweden Cornet very aggressively and very threatening. They gave lot of threats and they started with very wrong conversation, and they basically told them they are from Sweden. They are two people, by the way. They said that they are from Sweden. No one else should use this name, Sweden. Sweden Cornet was new and they followed all the instructions from EOS Go, from the EOS community. So they told them they don't have any problem with the name, but let them check what the rules are going to say, what the regulations say, and what you have announced, what you wanted as a block producer. So Sweden Cornet, they did some investigation. They looked into the Steemit, they looked into the EOS Go, and they found a post from Eric. Please look this post. This is in Steemit. This was published before even Sweden Cornet entered into the picture. And this statement is public. Anyone can go there and read, and no one can change that. It is a public statement. It is on the blockchain. And please, in this statement, you will find that they never requested to become EOS Sweden. They wanted to become a block producer, so they announced their candidacy, but they said that the block producer ID will be Eric/EOSIO and to be decided later on. And then there were few posts from them later on, and where they said that they wanted to become Southwest Eden. So Sweden Cornet replied back to them that you never demanded this name. You never asked for EOS Sweden. Now, when Sweden Cornet has already taken that name, now you want them to step away. You actually want them to not even mention the word Sweden. Why? Why you have not announced your candidacy with the proper name from the beginning? But they never wanted to use this name EOS Sweden. They wanted to use Southwest Eden. There are few posts from them why they have chosen this name Southwest Eden. What is happening from that time now? They are continuously threatening Sweden Cornet. That means they are in violation of the constitution of EOS. According to the EOS constitution, no one can threaten anyone, and they are continuously threatening. And it is very funny thing. The funny thing is that they want to be called Southwest Eden. They want to use that name Southwest Eden, but they also want that no one else should use the word Sweden, neither the word Stockholm. By the way, they have also reserved EOS Stockholm for them. So that time in the beginning it was looking like that they were saying that we don't want to use the word EOS Sweden, we don't want to use the word EOS Stockholm, we want to be called Southwest Eden, but no one else should also use the word Stockholm or the word Sweden. They want that no one else should use these words. I mean, why? Is not that look funny to you? That there are only two people, yes, they live in Sweden, like the other 9 million people, and they are telling the rest of 9 million people that we are not going to use the word Sweden, we are not going to use the word Stockholm, but you also don't use the word Stockholm and don't use the word Sweden. We want to be called Southwest Eden, but you don't use Sweden. I mean, how funny it looks. I mean, either you use EOS Sweden or use Southwest Ether. Why you want to use both? Not both, but three names. Why you want to use three names? I think they should have talked properly with Sweden CoreNet. They should have said that they have done mistake. By mistake, they did not announce their block producer ID and they want to be EOS Sweden. So please step back. Then probably Sweden CoreNet would have stepped back, but they did not say that. They were saying that they want to be Southwest Ether because that is their posts say in Steemit. It is very funny. It really looks very funny because Sweden CoreNet, they have followed all the instructions and guidelines and rules made by EOS community via EOS Go. Everything they did according to those guidelines, and then they also followed the legal things in Sweden. They looked into the Swedish trademark database and they found that no one else has requested EOS Sweden as their trademark. So they also applied to have an ownership of this trademark via the Swedish trademark regulation body. And they have done everything according to the rules. And the other party who has probably written these rules and regulation, but they themselves did not follow these rules. That party threatening the newcomers and telling them, don't use the word Sweden, don't use the word Stockholm. Is not that funny? They should have said that we have done mistake. We don't want to use Southwest Ether. We want to use EOS Sweden. It was our mistake. We did not announce our block producer ID properly. We did not follow the regulations. Now please can you help us? Then Sweden CoreNet would have helped them. But what they did, they threatened them and they're still threatening. And other funny thing what they did, and it looks very funny, you will be laughing when I say what they did. They called the employers of the team members of Sweden CoreNet. They said, hello, do you know that your employees, they are working with EOS? It's such a crime. Is not that sounds funny to you? Calling the employers and telling them to work with EOS is a crime? I mean, is that how they are promoting EOS? It was also very funny how the employers responded back to them. But I mean, these all things are going on, and these are going on by the big whale in EOS. You know, recently why I am making this video? I am making this video to tell all of you that from legal point of view and also according to the rules and regulations that were established by the EOS community, there is only one entity, Sweden CoreNet. There is no other entity that can have an ownership of this trademark. There is only one entity, and that is Sweden CoreNet. That is real EOS Sweden. The other entity know that EOS Sweden, that is Sweden CoreNet, they have followed all the regulations. So what they have started now, they have started threatening them. And they have started threatening them in multiple ways. And let me tell you, threatening is not going to work. The color of this phone is not going to become white, even if the big whale says it is white. The color of this mobile phone will remain black, even if a big whale or anyone, or even if the whole world is going to say that the color of this phone is white, it is not going to become white. In the same way, Sweden CoreNet is the real EOS Sweden block producer. Sweden CoreNet has taken a stand on moral and ethical grounds. So threatening is not going to work. Threatening is only going to help Sweden CoreNet. But Sweden CoreNet is willing to talk. If Eric wants to talk with Sweden CoreNet is going to listen. But Sweden CoreNet is not going to afraid from threats. Let's be positive and work together for the better world, for the better of EOS community, and for the betterment of everyone. Dictatorship is not going to work, but democracy may work. So let's work together. Sweden Coordinate knows that there are some big whales in the EOS and they have lot of influence, they have lot of power, and they have also a lot of political power. But in spite all of this, Sweden Coordinate, they are not afraid. They are not afraid, but they are willing to talk, they are willing to have a dialogue, they are willing to discuss, they are willing to cooperate. So let's work together. Let's let's work together. Let's be friends. Let's have a democratic discussion. Let's talk on equal terms. Don't under and overestimate someone else. There is probably a lot to talk about, but I think I should end my discussion on this topic now. And if I have said something wrong, I am sorry for that. Thank you to all of you.